Nice. Oh, a friend of mine has started streaming. Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen him stream before. I know he's on Twitch because he's a mod on my channel. That host sound. Oh, it's perfect. Just make me think some fuckery is about to go down in Naruto. Still remember episode, I think it's 111, where they try to find out what Kakashi's face looks like. Got myself 2 boiled eggs in a smoothie this morning. Yeah, for the past 3 days so far. Yeah, it's 3 days I didn't stop at Wendy's to get a cheeseburger. So
Welcome. For those in the chat, it has been a good long while since the podcast has been up, but I'm your host, Tesmo Gizmo, and with me is my co-host, my country cousin from the Sunshine State, Mr. Nella Trey.
what's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Man, it's good to be back. It is good to be back. Lots of things have happened. Shows have started. Mangas have been getting better and great, and we're here today just to discuss that for however long until we need to not discuss it. So, first thing at hand, Trey, what do you want to get down to?
Let's start with Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer. I'm gonna let you take the lead, as I've got too much invested into this from reading.
Okay, so he has a lot invested because he's been reading. I've only seen the first episode, so this is what I thought about it. Before I watched, I heard a lot of people complaining really about the first episode and trigger warnings and all of this and unnecessariness. And I was like, okay, some people don't like what's going on in this anime. Let me see what's happening. So I go to watch it, and they tell you before the episode even starts, there are graphic scenes that may be disturbing to more sensitive viewers. So if you're sensitive to that stuff, please don't watch. So obviously, those people that had something to complain about didn't they either don't know how to read or they thought they were tough and they weren't. So I started watching, and from the get go, like I really liked how it was animated. It looked good. I liked the way they made the goblins look. Um, and my whole thing with that episode was that all they did was explain to you. They introduced you to goblins. That's what the first episode was for. They introduced you to goblins. They showed you how goblins operate. They showed you what they do, which is go to villages, rape, pillage, steal, kidnap. They do all of that. Goblins have done that since goblins have been a thing. So all of those scenes that people had an issue with were to be expected from me. I was expecting those. It didn't bug me at all because
Yeah.
this isn't something I could already tell this wasn't something that was going to be on the regular in the anime. It was just you need that introduction. That's what built the scene and the setting for the anime, the tone. So they helped set up the tone for you, and now we can get into the meat and potatoes of the series. So I'm looking forward to watching more episodes, and I really didn't understand why people had such an issue with
Right. I mean, I have been preaching it literally since I started reading it. Cause let me give a brief run back for anybody. I put Goblin Slayer off for the longest because usually when it comes to me reading manga, I'm like, man, the art style for me is one big thing that'll throw me off. But I had to look past the art style, which it wasn't my usual shonen type of art style. So like not the crisp lines and heavily detailed stuff, but also I'm not reading, the actual release. I'm reading somebody's, created sloppily rescanned and tried to re-stencil it version, which I applaud because I don't have the tenacity or will to do that, so I couldn't complain that much. But just I knew the first two chapters when I looked into it becoming a manga, and it was crazy when I finished catching up because they come out I think every month or a couple of weeks, something like that. I was just like, man, this will be a good anime, and then I discovered that it's actually about to become an actual anime, or it just got picked up. I'm like, the first portion of this, and it's only just the episode, like you said, only just the beginning, which is the introduction into goblins, what they're like, what they do, and how they are as a creature, whatever you want to call it. It was nothing more than that. It wasn't to it wasn't to essentially give off the raping and things like that, because nowhere is that condoned, but it's gonna be looked at as something serious because it is kind of serious. But the goblin is just trying to show you, man, they are ruthless. They will do whatever it takes, and they're like vermin. They're gonna survive. They're any other type of creature you can think of that's either really really despicable, hard hitting, and nasty. But even like Trey said, this isn't new information. It's just information that's been brought to light. That's, if you go back and look up anything on goblins, you're gonna see this exact same thing. They reap, rape, and pillage. It's just in their DNA. But that first episode got a lot of people ruffled behind the feathers, and it's turned a lot of folks away from it. I'm like, well, if you can't get past the first episode, then you're probably you're gonna miss out on what's a really good show, because that's not the only time so far that I've seen. It's the only time I've seen it happen, even with reading, because it's just like I said, it's just that one thing. It's referenced. It may be hinted at or alluded to later down the line, but that's the only time. But Goblin Slayer as a whole is a great show. Story-wise, content-wise, action-wise, you're gonna spend a lot of time wondering why Goblin Slayer is Goblin Slayer. They'll eventually let you know why he is the way he is, what caused him to be the way he is. But I mean, my man is essentially the boogeyman to the boogeyman. That's what makes him so great. He hunts what already hunts in the dark. He hunts the darkness from the darkness.
Dude sound like the John Wick of Goblin Slayer.
I'm telling you, man, the most amazing line. I was saying it to you earlier. He said, "I am the goblin to the goblins." The way that what they do, I do to them. Minus, he doesn't sodomize them. No, but he gives them back what they give out. And I mean, they get cunning too, boy. You haven't even seen some of the best parts for my anime only viewers. I will not spoil anything. I'm just saying, like, if you know anything about goblins, if you've played Magic the Gathering, or you just been into anything that's got like might and magic, and you know about goblins, they don't just come in particular goblins. You got goblins, you got hobgoblins, you've got goblin kings. So they have their own hierarchical type of things, or evolved states. But I mean, they're like the saying with, how the thing with the spiders, Trey. If you manage to kill a spider, you caught one of the dumb ones, and the other ones will get smarter and learn from it.
Yeah.
That's how goblins are, in a sense.
Yep, and he explained that too when he killed the kids.
That part kind of caught me off guard, because I don't remember reading that bit. I was like, hold on, did I just skip past that when I was reading it? I don't remember him slaying some baby goblins, and they were just like, I won't lie, I laughed my ass off at the noises that they played when he would kill them, like that pig sound. You know how, boy.
Yeah. It made me think of Ha Davis.
Yes, that's big fella. That's all I kept thinking about when he was in there murking them. I'm like, oh man, he killing the babies, but that pig sound made it just made it too funny for me. It just made it. They hold
grudges for life though. They gotta go.
Yes, like how could you essentially feel pity for something that even at its core won't forgive you or give a damn about you? And if they remember you, they're going to find you. Like they're like the fucking what's his name? Liam Neeson. They're like Liam Neeson. They're gonna find you. They got a certain particular type of skills that only they can utilize, and they will get you. And by any means. Boogie, what it do, fam? How you doing today, man? The enemy of my enemy is still my enemy. Facts. It's just a great show, man. If you hadn't, anybody who's watching this, or if you're listening to this, if you haven't seen Goblin Slayer, watch it. Get past the first episode. Go into it with the understanding that you're only going to see something that is in its essence just giving you what they are and how they interact and what they do. It's not for everybody. It may not be for you, but I promise you it does get better. I tell anybody this, it gets better. Hey, Ninja, what it do, man? It gets better though. Seriously. Because I think now it's coming up on the parts of the show where the actual troop, or the people you see in the beginning in the ED, they're about to be introduced. So you're gonna meet some people other than the little priestess who's with Goblin Slayer. And I mean, it's just the development. Why I call friends, it. Oh, go ahead, Trey. I'll let you go ahead.
One of my friends had a very interesting view on this. A coworker. He saw it before I did, and he was saying that he thought this dude has a very warped view, mind you. Just disclaimer before I start. He was like, I think this is all part of this chick's plan from the get go. The priestess. He was like, I think she's just a glutton for punishment. She goes through all of this. She's like, yeah, I'm going back.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, Ninja, no, I hadn't caught up with the episodes, but yeah, they've just been introduced. I'm just giving a brief overlay for anybody who's just coming in and listening to this later, who isn't in here live with us right now. Just for the the listeners on the other platforms I put this up on, like they should be getting introduced. And this is where stuff gets interesting, because this is where the actual building comes from. Seriously, you'll see Goblin Slayer grow. You'll see him kind of change, but you'll also see how he interacts with other people and the little priestess girl. But I've never thought about it like her being a glutton for punishment. I just thought she was somebody who wanted to get, she was in a really effed up situation. Rather than succumb to it, let it haunt her and keep her from being great, she chose to cross the grass and be better. So she's like, I'm gonna overcome this and find a way to face my fear and destroy it.
I hope that's what she's doing. I really think she's just there because the Goblin Slayer there. It's like
I mean,
being in a safe home.
I won't spoil anything. I will never spoil anything, because everybody likes to say I'm the king of spoiling stuff, because I read everything that everybody's watching. I've either read it or I've already started to read it, and I'm always ahead. I won't spoil anything, but you really have to wait and see and learn about Slayer, Priestess, Dragon, Gnome, and the Elf. Like it's gonna be a good ride, and it's aesthetically beautiful. It's dark. It's it's nasty, but I like it. It's the first time I've actually had an anime that I actually like to watch. I've read it. I've read it all. I know what's happening, but it's still amazing just to see it animated. Because most things I read, they always don't get good animation studios, and they got the one of the best studios. Like I was with Black Clover, I was hard pressed. I'm like, yo, if they don't get a good animation studio, one of my favorite mangas is gonna take a really hard dive, and like it, cause it's great. It's great. We will touch on that later also, but it's just great.
You know how mad I am that Madhouse isn't doing a second season of One Punch Man?
Why not? Why aren't they doing it?
I don't know. I still don't know why. I gotta read the news, but I'm pretty sure they went to a different animation company. And I was heartbroken about it.
Let's see. This crazy thing. Oh, it's Discord be trying to shut off your dang Spotify and stuff. No, leave that alone. Leave that alone. Just got a nice little background music going on here. Ninja said, "Yeah, I feel the same way. Animation is good. Yeah, man, it's just really good. Like it took me the trailer for it blew me away. But then again, that's like anything. You can always have a nice cinematic, but then have like a really poop show or a very bad video game. Because video games have got me like that a lot in my childhood. See a really crazy trailer and be like, oh man, you can do this and do that. Get the game. Nope, you can't do this. Nope, you can't do that. It was all just a lie and a ploy to get you to spend your money. So yeah. Boogie said, I don't know if you saw it, Trey. Boogie said, I think the main issue in the U.S. so much stuff is watered down that so few people are truly in the know. Like, I would agree with that.
That's very true. Oh, okay. So it looks like the reason Madhouse isn't doing One Punch Man season 2 is because the original director Shingo Natsume is gone.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So let's see. JC Staff has taken over animation duties. They've done Slayers, Revolutionary Girl, Utena, and Excel Saga. A lot of people don't really know why they made this changeover, though. I just hope it doesn't look too different. Like, that's really gonna throw me if it looks way different.
I mean, it shouldn't, but you know, who are we to say? Like, literally, who are we to say? I hope it doesn't look too bad or crazy, anything like that either. Because I mean, I'm hoping for that next portion of Mob Psycho. Like, can I get my Mob Psycho back, please?
Then none of the characters are given names in Goblin Slayer, Darren?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Ninja, like, which series or show? Oh yeah, in Goblin Slayer.
To be honest with you, bro, I didn't even notice. But now that you mention it, nobody said a name. I didn't even notice that no one was actually introduced.
Nope. They just go
by their class.
Pretty much.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'll let you know.
It's like they took the Kratos approach to it, just like just barred. Priestess, you know. But then again, Goblin Slayer, I've never actually thought about what is his actual position in a D&D type of environment. What is Goblin Slayer? Like just a warrior?
A badass.
Or like, but he doesn't use sword. He uses like a short sword.
He uses a short sword because he was in that cave. Does he constantly use one?
Yes, he never, bro. That get up you see on Goblin Slayer, that's all he ever wears. You will never see him change that. Never.
Well, he's not a rogue. Rogues don't wear armor like that.
His armor is like light in his chain mailed in essence too, somewhat. Yeah, they never really refer to anybody by any particular names in the show. They just always call him Goblin Slayer, and that's all he's known for. It's just he slays goblins. But the crazy thing about it is, man, so many people look down on Goblin Slayer, and they're just like, all he does is slay goblins. Well, like, cause the higher up, warriors and things, they don't want to take on missions like that. They think goblins are beneath them. But just like anything, if you give it time, sorry guys, my throat's. If you give it time, it'll grow in power, or it'll grow in numbers. And once the numbers get big enough, it will become destructive. That's why, he doesn't see them as something so minute that they can be overlooked. He knows how they can be. He knows what they can do, and potentially what they can even do beyond that. It's some scary stuff, man. To think that if you looked at goblins like roaches, if roaches were able to become way more than what they were, it'd be crazy, because roaches are everywhere.
I'd have to become a roach slayer.
You'd be a roach slayer. Man, you
You
can have that. Them boys can survive missing limbs. Think about it.
If it was like Goblin Slayer, the roaches would end up like the ones from Terraformer.
Bruh, I hated Terraformer. That was so terrible. But you were right. They would be like the Terraformer roaches. And how do you destroy it? Like, I don't even know much of Terraformer, but I know it was hard for them to kill them big things.
Yeah, Terraformer roaches are nightmare fuel. Dead Hero, what's up? Yeah,
what it do?
It's back.
Yeah, it's back, man. We finally back. We're finally back. We're coming back. There's good stuff going on. The new season of anime started, and there's a lot of good gems. I mean, if I got a chance to, now everyone knows I'm the centralized local weeaboo, so I never say anything in its English translation. I'm always the one in the Japanese version of it, because it's what I'm introduced to it by, or how I started it. There's so many good ones this season. For anybody who's listening, I'm gonna say them slow. This is just my list of personal watches that I would give you. Just watch the first couple episodes, see how you feel, because they are only within the first 4 episodes now, as this week has gone in. SSS Gridman. If you've ever heard anything about Ultraman Tiga or anything like Ultraman, that's one for you. If you like what's the genre? The Kamen Rider type, like not similar to Power Rangers, but it's not really Power Rangers. Gridman was a show that came on way back in the day, like in the 80s or some jive in Japan, but it also came on in the 90s when I was a child, right alongside the Power Rangers. So in essence, you got some kids who kind of merge into this guy who's like a Megazord, but not, or like Ultraman if you've ever been familiar with Godzilla. Really great. Won't go too into detail about it. Of course, Goblin Slayer, Sword Art Online, also Alicization. It's pretty good. It's way better story than the first one, and it's also a revamp or retelling of the actual Sword Art, like a reboot almost in a sense, because even the creator himself didn't like the first run of Sword Art. Trey, if you didn't know that, Alicization is his way of rewriting it and making it better and kind of turning it around. You also have Radiant, which is pretty good if you like magic shonen. It's pretty good. I can't think of his name. Ace Attorney. I can't say the name because it's just really convoluted, but Ace Attorney this season is really good. Castlevania season 2, give it a look. Of course, JoJo, the new JoJo. JoJo Kimyo no Baken.
Watching Castlevania.
Yeah,
she told me to check it out.
It's actually good, bro. I was like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna watch it or not. I gave it the first 2 episodes, like for the first season, and I was like, okay, yep, I'm invested. I like vampires. I like slaying. I like the Castlevania games, so I don't see why I wouldn't like it. There's also another hidden gem this season. Cirque de Karakuri is English translation, or Karakuri Circus, which I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man. It's really good. I'll be doing some detailed reviews on it here shortly later, so look out for that. What else we got? If you like sports and you want to jump outside the realm of regular sports, you got Hinomazurumo. Sumo wrestling, pretty much. I said it wrong. Hinomaru Zumao. It's sumo wrestling, but it is really damn good. Yeah, Phoenix Wright, Dead Hero, you got it. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, that guy. That's the good one there. a certain Magical Index season 3, Magical Index backtracks 2 previous seasons. They're all like 24 episodes. So I mean, if you're caught up on it or watching it, it's still as good as the first couple. You got Merc Storia, another good one. And I think that would be it as far as what I would assume our average listeners would may watch, unless there's some people who like Slice of Life. Then if you like Slice of Life, just feel free to message me, hit me up. I also can hit you with some of those. Oh, and I forgot the time I was reincarnated into a slime. That is fire. It is fire. I've read that all the way through and I'm still caught up on it. It is so good. I mean, this season, and the crazy thing is its flow, for it to be such a long type of manga, it's got maybe like the chapters are spread out to maybe 30, 40 a chapter. So it's got like a good bit of information. The ones that usually run 15 to 12, they have to pack 3 chapters into one episode. These can literally fit maybe like a chapter and a half into one. So it's going to be a good chunk of meat to fill in and not make it feel rushed, and it doesn't feel rushed. It flows exactly like the manga does. But if anybody's seen the opening, you're gonna enjoy it when it gets there. When it gets to all that stuff you're seeing, you will enjoy it. I mean, it's so great. The slime is just, he is godly. If I had to be reincarnated into anything, I would have never thought to go back into a world and become a slime. Just off of the sheer, but you know, it's an isekai trope. For you guys who've been here with us from the beginning, we talked about our trapped in another world, teleported to another world, gaining OP powers from some type of godly being. It's still like that, but just that slime is a god, man. I can't front on him. He's godly. Sorry, Trey. I got winded there, bro. It's been so long since I just been able to talk about anything like this. I got winded on you for a second. My bad.
Oh no, I'm letting you do your thing.
So I will let you take the floor, man. I'll let you have it.
All right. So the next anime we were going to talk about was, in fact, JoJo, the new JoJo series. So I had completely forgotten. A friend of mine told me, but I had completely forgotten that this one was about Dio's son instead of one of
the Joestar family. Yeah,
one of the Joestars. So as soon as I saw his name, I was like, oh, okay, Giorno. So it's set in Italy, which I thought was cool. And the animation for JoJo is always one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a breath of fresh air, even amongst all this anime. And one of my favorite parts so far in the first 3 episodes, I'm not going to get into details, just talk about things I liked. I really liked the stands they introduced. And man, some of these stands' powers are beyond me. Just insane. They're really cool. Like, I always think, I'm like, how do people just come up with this stuff? Like, how long does it take for them to come up with this stuff? Because you've already had all these other seasons of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with stands and all these different powers and abilities, and they managed to make all of them applicable. All of them work in some type of way. All right, Dead Hero, man, appreciate you stopping by. We're still on. Yeah, definitely feel free to come by again.
Yeah, man. Or if you, wherever you get, when you get to work, or you just turn it on, we'll still be talking, man. Even if you can't talk, it's nice to have you in here. It's glad to, have one of our supporters in here, man. Most definitely.
But my favorite part about the entire series so far, which you don't see until episode 2, is the ending. The episode ended and they go into the end credits, and I'm just like, all right. But the end credits come on, and Jodeci freaking you.
Hey, man. I mean, man.
I was like, wait a minute. So I started checking, like when I saw it, I was checking Spotify, I was checking other stuff to make sure I didn't have any other tabs open. I was like, I'm missing something.
Gotta be, man.
And then I was like, no, the only sound is coming from JoJo. So I went and looked up the ending on YouTube. Same thing. So I was like, I cannot believe that they put Jodeci on here for the end credits. I was like, who did this? I was like, what black man they got working in the studio that snuck this in here on the cool?
They had to have somebody with some punch and spice in their system to put that on there, boy. I was like, hold on. Cause I came across it and I was like, no. I pulled it back. I pulled the episode back just to make sure it wasn't a glitch. Like, maybe some audio got crossed up. Maybe something went wrong. Like, no, it was Jodeci freaking you, and it fit so well. That's what made it so bad and so epically funny. It fits so well. But you could also look up the ED on YouTube, and they've got other songs matched alongside it that are just equally as funny. But I think they settled on Jodeci being it. Who's ever doing it is like freaking you is just it for this. But I'm like, what does freaking you have to do with JoJo? I was like, there's not even a female love interest in this. It's all dudes. It's always all dudes. Like, when have you ever seen a female stand user other than the last season? Recently. Let's put it like that. Recently.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I haven't seen any.
I'm starting to think stands are sexist. Or that bow and arrow, that arrow's sexist. For real.
Well, this was written way back in the day.
I mean, so the one we're watching now, Vento Arrow, Ariel, I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure when this one was actually serialized or when it started. But I mean, a lot of these JoJo's they're always in the works, so there's no telling how long it's been. But this one, I want to say it's pretty current. It hasn't been too long since it started, like the manga at least.
Because I was like, I'd have to try to speak about this without revealing anything, revealing too much. Playboy in the jail cell.
What's Playboy in the jail cell?
In JoJo. Come on, the one that gave him the lighter.
Oh yes, yeah, okay, yeah. Big fella.
Yeah, big fella is Nightmare.
Ooh, yes, he is Nightmare Juice. Yes, he is, sir.
I saw him and I was like, yo, this guy.
And I'm just like, why is he so big? We won't, like I said, we will.
Tough though.
It's sentient. We won't spoil anything for anybody who hasn't watched it. Just give the new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure a run. It's pretty good. But yeah, the guy you'll see, it's episode 3, right?
2 and 3, I think. Maybe just 3.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just 3. Just 3. And maybe even 4, because 4 just came out. But dude is the cracker thing, bro. Just the cracker thing. I was like, hold on, did he just? Yeah. Man.
I liked when one of my friends on Discord, his name on Discord is now Taste of a Liar. I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, you're already making JoJo references. But yeah, his stand, I was screaming when I was watching it. And I think my wife was in the kitchen. She didn't know what I was talking about. Because I was like, how does it even go that far? She was like, what are you
it's got a mind of its own. Sentient stands can be outside the body, apparently.
But so as to not spoil too much for y'all, we're gonna move on, and we're about to get into some of the just flat out anime talk, not necessarily new stuff or reviews.
His name is Popo. That much I can give.
Yeah, Popo.
Popo. Big fella.
Yeah, Popo is a big fella. Very big fella.
He damn sure is, boy.
All right, y'all, give me just a second, and we're gonna do a little quick, like, mini game almost.
Trey, I'm about to send you something, sir. Just so like you know. Just read that, and it'll tell you. This is what I got from the wiki on it. We're not trying to spoil anything for anybody else. It's just for us, for future information, or when we can't actually talk about it once the episode is passed, or if anybody actually has seen it. And also, if there is something that does come up that you haven't seen yet, feel free to leave out. We don't want to spoil anything or ruin anything for anybody. That's not the intent of this. It's just to gather, talk, and discuss the things that we like and or are viewing with the people who want to talk about it and discuss it and right alongside us. That's just a disclaimer.
It's a tweet I need to find before we get into this nitty gritty.
Did you catch that line though?
Let me see. Okay.
So just think about it. Just think about it for a minute. That's how it gets around. But while Trey's doing his thing, I just want to ask chat, man, how y'all doing today? How Ninja? I know Dead Hero's gone. Anybody else that's in here just lurking? Feel free to talk. Feel free to chat. If you want to ask a question, go ahead, fire away. Just I want to know how you guys are doing. It feels good to be back. We've been gone for a good little minute. I had to have surgery and other things come up, so we're just getting back into the swing of things. But how are you guys doing today? Let us know.
Okay. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna ask you these questions, Says, and then you answer. I'll answer.
Oh, did you send me the questions so I can ask them back?
No, they're on Twitter. I'm gonna have to look at them on Twitter.
Okay, tweet it to me. Just direct it at me. However you got to do it. But all right.
Okay. Which protagonist do you prefer out of these four? Meliodas, Deku, Asta, or Boruto?
Man, this is hard, bro. Okay, I'm gonna remove them in order to get to my one. Meliodas first. He's just too OP. He doesn't fit the category with them. Meliodas is like a Sasuke Naruto. He should have been in with them because that man is just stupid strong. Now with these three remaining youngins I have love for all of them equally. But Boruto, weakest right now. Boruto's just the weakest right now. He doesn't compare. Asta and fucking Deku. This is hard. Deku's a crybaby. Asta yells too damn much. They both are strong-willed and determined. They're both essentially came from nothing, working their way, bro. It's actually hard because if you think about how Deku and Asta mirror one another, it's retarded. But I'm going at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to give it to Asta. I'm gonna have to give it to Asta.
I'm gonna have to go with Deku, but that's because I haven't watched Black Clover and Seven Deadly Sins in length.
I read Black Clover, so I gotta give it to Asta. I mean, Deku is great. I love Deku too. Deku be my number 2. But like, I have to give it to Asta just off of sheer guile alone. That man is a force. Okay. Oh, and Ninja, just to respond back to what you said, man. My surgery went well. I'm recovered pretty good. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. Still got some minor complications, but we're making it work. We're making it work, man. And glad that you're having a good day, bro. Ninja said he'd have to go with My Hero.
Of these three, this is for you too, Derek. Feel free to answer. Anybody in the chat, feel free to answer these questions too. Which death shocked you the most? Spoiler alert, if y'all haven't watched One Piece, Naruto Shippuden, or Hunter x Hunter.
Yes, this is a spoiler.
Spoiler alert, I'm going to give y'all a solid 8 seconds before I name these, because these are character deaths, and they're the ones that shocked you the most, so they're going to be big deaths. So spoiler alert if y'all plan on watching these. And yeah, so we're going to get right into it. Ace from One Piece, Jiraiya from Naruto, or Kite from Hunter x Hunter?
Jiraiya. Pervy Sage's death was the most impactful for me because I knew, like, I was invested in Pervy Sage. Ace, I understood the relationship between Ace and Luffy, but like, you just didn't see Ace enough to really be that invested into him. I felt for Luffy. I felt for Luffy. I felt for Kite. I felt for them. Kite's whole blight. But Jiraiya felt like family because he had been there for so long. That was the one that hurt the most.
So Jiraiya's shook me the most. Just because I felt like it was coming, but I still wasn't ready for it. There was no way I was gonna be ready for it.
I
But
didn't know Ace was coming.
Kite's shocked me the most. They just introduced him as a character, and literally like 6 episodes later, he's gone. And I was like, because they don't show the fight, like they don't show the fight at all that he has before his death, and then all of a sudden you just see Pito sitting Indian style, holding his head in her lap.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, wait a minute. No, this is fake. This is fake. This has to be a trick. He did something with his nin. I was like, this has to be I would not accept it. With Jiraiya's, I was the most hurt. Like, hands down. Jiraiya's death really hurt me because I saw Jiraiya as one of my teachers.
That's what I'm saying. That's what made him so damn pivotal, bruh. Like, he felt like family because he had been there. Pervy Sage and Naruto, they were a pair. You knew him, you saw him. It was what it was. That one hurt.
All right. Favorite of these 4 protagonists: Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, Naruto Uzumaki, Ichigo Kurosaki, or Son Goku.
Now, okay, for what reason am I picking them as my favorites? Like, off of merit, or just who do I like the most?
Who do you like the most? You don't have to look at it analytically. Just who do you like the most?
Oh, the last one was Goku.
Son Goku. A lot of people don't know that Goku's first name is Son.
Mm-hmm. Goku is his last name.
Yep. So mine is Goku. Because I don't know enough about Monkey D. Luffy to say whether or not he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Ichigo, as much as I like Ichigo, he's too edgy. At the same time, like he's too edgy for me. Naruto always made me mad with dumb decisions because the difference between Goku and all these other people is that these other people want to be the protagonist. Goku doesn't. Goku doesn't want to be the protagonist.
Well, he does. Yeah, he's the definition of bad dad.
Goku wants to do is fight and get stronger. That's all Goku wants to do, and he just happens to save the Earth on those journeys.
It's like you, sir, are a terrible father.
He cares about people. He has feelings, but at the same time, it's hard to view him as like a hard protagonist.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go with Naruto. Just out of the sense I know he was dumb and stupid, but he reminded me of a lot of stuff in myself. And also that climb. His was one of the most iconic. He had the most iconic climb ever, boy. I'm talking about from dirt. My man was the lowest of low. He was the first molecule that makes up a speck of dirt. That's how low he was in the pole. And he just showed him. He just persevered, man. Every time somebody shitted on him, he turned the other cheek. He was bratty at times, but as he got older, folks started to see how he was. They started to see how great my man was. He gained respect from people, and he also had that talk no jutsu. He could talk his way out of any damn thing. Just about that plot armor, but he could easily befriend people.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a random though. Out of these 4, I'm gonna try and run it to you because this probably ain't on there. Who's the better second in command? Vegeta, Zoro, Sasuke, or Ishida? Who's the better? Who's the better rival second in command?
The better rival? Okay. If we're taking rivalry into account here, that's tough. Like at first I was about to be like Sasuke, and I was like, Vegeta and Goku's beef has been so long running.
It's long running. I mean, okay, even if the dust has settled on the rivalry, just for while it was relevant, who had the better rivalry? Or was like, because at some point, they all technically fight. In Zoro and Luffy's case, they don't really fight, but I mean, that they're more like runner up, like second in command.
Yeah. I'm going to have to say Sasuke. I like Vegeta a lot, Derek, just because Vegeta has gotten to where he is on his own.
Yeah, his merit stands from him on working his Naruto
he's
magic.
Never had a teacher. He even talks about that in the latest Dragon Ball Super manga, how he's never had a teacher.
Ty, what's up? Now you kind of we're 40 plus minutes into it, man. But you're here.
Yeah, we just haven't gotten to the deep part yet.
Nah, we ain't gotten to all the crazy stuff yet.
Yeah, I would probably have to say Sasuke just because Vegeta and Goku had a rivalry, and eventually they did have that second death match when Majin Vegeta came about. But Sasuke and Naruto, every single meeting or crossing they had was so full of tension. Every single one of them was. Eventually, Vegeta was just kicking it with Goku after a while. But Sasuke and Naruto's rivalry just went so deep. And it was crazy to me every time they saw each other how thick the tension was. So I probably have to go with Sasuke just based off that one fact.
Okay.
It was so tense when they met up.
I would also have to give you Sasuke. I mean, now this is not to knock and say that any of these other rivalries were not great, because with Bleach, I can't spoil anything because it never got to continue its animation. So anything I would say would be spoiler, and I won't do that for anybody who's listening later down the line.
Yeah, they don't see the Uryu glow up.
Yeah, you don't see how godly Ishida becomes like later. So it's just, I can't do that to you. Zoro, you never really see Zoro fight Luffy, but just on character reference alone, if Luffy was to ever like really be, out of it, Zoro, the big three for a reason. Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro. Like, Zoro is second in command for a damn reason. That man is stupid strong with them swords. That Centaurus style and training with Mihawk for that whole 2 years and the monkeys on that island, we still haven't seen everything Zoro can do. And we still haven't seen my man open that fucking left eye, which I'm assuming is going to be the devil coming out his eyeball. Vegeta, it's still ongoing, and I always praise Vegeta. Like, I had to grow into an understanding and love for Vegeta because, like you said, Vegeta, what solidified Vegeta's stamp in my book was that man tamed God form without needing other Saiyans to give him the key. He trained hard enough to where he could understand and feel it and envelop himself in it and make it his own. That's always what makes Vegeta essentially the better character than Goku. And that's kind of what made Gohan kind of godly too. Some of the shit Gohan went through, he only had a speck or a second to gain it, and then the rest of it was on his own because his dad was shitty. Piccolo couldn't keep up with him, so he didn't really have much training. Old Kai didn't actually train Gohan either. Gohan just... I've always thought, that's what I'm saying. I always think Gohan shit is off instinct alone. That's why it would have made sense for Gohan to actually be the one to attain Ultra Instinct, because everything he's ever done has been off his instincts. Like, it's never been trained to learn how to use this. Other than Goku showing him how to keep Super Saiyan going to balance out his energy, everything else has been he had to do it on the fly, and from there grasp it on his own. In the midst of like something crazy,
manga,
but I'll go with
the
Sasuke.
closest person to reaching Ultra Instinct before Goku was Master Roshi.
Old man Roshi.
Roshi was like he started doing some of the movements, and Bidus and Whis were like, "Wait a minute,
where that old man learned that at?"
Yeah, like wait a minute.
He's like, it's not the full thing, but it's just of his years of experience. And this is the thing people forget too. Please, at no point, for anybody who ever watches Dragon Ball Z, don't you ever think Roshi's gonna die. If you go back to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Turtle will remind you that man is immortal. He will never die. Roshi will outlive everybody. He's damn near earthly Kai. That's all he is. He's an Earth Kai.
He's not immortal in the fact that if he gets mortally wounded, he'll live. He's immortal. He's done aging. Like, he's never gonna die of old age.
Exactly.
He's
Z,
already over
thank you for the host, fam.
years old in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I will never forget that because he was playing. It was when Gohan and them were Goku and them came to the island, and he was like, "Oh, I think this might be it. This is the big one." Here comes Turtle. No, it won't, Roshi. You drink from the fountain of youth. You'll never die.
He told him, shut up.
He's like, "Shut up." Turtle out there capping like, "No, don't be lying to these people." But yo, if we can sidestep, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this art design. It's in some fan-made manga that's like if all the DBZ worlds clashed together or came together for a tournament, like even from different parallel universes. There is a form of Krillin, Trey, I gotta find the picture of it for you, where he becomes the new Roshi. Like Krillin grows the mustache. He's literally the new Turtle Hermit, and he is so godly. I mean, I've never wanted for a character to exist so bad than Turtle Hermit Krillin. This is a Krillin who's literally become the strongest human, spent all of his life mastering the turtle style and becoming the new Roshi essentially. Speed, he's untouched because he's short and fast as hell. He's just stupid strong, and he's got that his solar flare is like beyond some shit Tien can even make with 3 eyes. I'm just like, bruh, I need Turtle Hermit Krillin to exist in DBZ for real. Alongside like Final Form King Cold and other things.
I like how in Super they gave Vegeta and Goku beards.
Bruh, I wish they would have just let us see them turn Super Saiyan with a beard. Like, I've always just wondered what happens to other facial hair when you go Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
like,
they made them go shave. They were like, nah, go shave.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because Nappa had a goatee, a mustache. King Vegeta, see, that'd be the ultimate homage to his father if Vegeta grew that whole goatee like his dad had.
Oh man, which fight do you prefer? Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh, what do we got?
Yusuke versus Toguro or Meruem versus Netero?
Meruem. That fucking fight. That fight was just like watching Madara versus what's his name? The first Hokage. Like that whole fight.
Yashirama, is that his name? Hoshirama.
Hashirama, yes. It was just like watching that fight when they animated it. Finally made that shit. They actually gave the fight an actual physical viewing. Like their initial first badass fight that carved the Valley of the End. Like, yeah. Man, that fight.
I have to say, as much as I love Yusuke versus Toguro, I gotta say Meruem.
Yes, bro.
That fight was just too cold.
Oh, bro, tell me how that old man's Nen levels was so stupid. So stupid. And he meditated. What did he say? He meditated somewhere by himself for like years. I mean, years.
One of my homeboys was watching it, and it was funny because he was just like sending me messages on Facebook Messenger as he was watching it. He was like, "Oh shit, Meruem and Netero about to fight," and then like I think like an hour passed, and I get a message. It's like Chairman period fucking period Netero period.
Bruh, there will never be anybody as powerful as that old man. In Hunter x Hunter, I don't think there'll be anybody as powerful as him to be seen.
I think Gon's dad is gonna get there.
We don't even know what kind of nin user Gong's father is.
You find out in the manga.
What kind is he? Because I don't think I read that one.
He's a specialist.
Oh, he's like Yeah, he's like Kapeki or whatever.
He's a specialist. So any attack that hits him, he can replicate it.
Oh, that's so broken. That is so broken.
Attack that hits him, he can replicate it. So and he can replicate it forever. When Leodio punched him,
yeah, with that portal punch,
he uses it in a later manga chapter to hit a dude that's hiding behind the wall.
That is broken, bruh.
Yeah, Gon's dad, Chairman Netero said that Gon's dad would probably be one of the people to surpass him.
Ty said he's a blue mage.
Yeah, blue mage. But yeah, I think Gon's dad is a monster. He's just lazy.
Lazy as hell, but if there's that future version of Gon, I don't even know if that'll
He said
ever,
he was as strong as Meruem when he came out like that.
bruh. That version of Gon. That's okay. We can't even call that Future Gon because that's not Future Gon. That's just his everything.
Because we don't know. They said
Exactly.
the only way he would have attained that form is if he trained relentlessly for the rest of his life.
Like
That would
did
be
what
the
you
only
did
way.
what the old man did. Like secluded himself off somewhere and just only went at it every day, night and day.
This would be the only way.
He survived though, but man, he was so fucking shriveled up though, bro. Like it just, and it's crazy.
Man.
They still haven't gotten back to him in the manga. Like I don't, what's happening in the manga right now? I don't even like it. It's taking a dark turn.
Upset. This whole ship art thing that they're doing.
Yes,
Yeah, it's boring to me.
it's hella boring. I mean, I love this. I love to see young Ruby Eyes. I mean, I love to see him be great. I mean, and I knew from the beginning he was always going to venture off from Killua and Gon. Like, I didn't see him sticking around. I never saw him sticking around because his purpose was way beyond what theirs was. Like, he was like Sasuke, but he was like, he knew more.
Kurapika is an Uchiha. They just won't tell you that. Whole village was killed off. Eyes turned crimson. It's a bloodline thing.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying in a sense he was a smarter version of Sasuke. Like he knew his limitations and he wasn't just like he wasn't willing to put himself in the wrong way to ascertain his goal. He knew how to get his goal. He just played the course. Like he said, I'm gonna just ride this out.
Ready to get revenge. He started.
Exactly. He just played the course.
Because as soon as I found out what his powers really were, I was like, dude, broken as hell.
He never really, we haven't seen him use in the show. He ain't used each one of them damn rings yet on his hand, people, for y'all who don't know. And if you look it up and read what each one of them does, you'll see why he's so broken. But you have to be so creative to think of something like that, to create that type of thing for you to be a user with it. Like Nin, I've always looked at Nin as like something outside, but it's honestly a big chunk of imagination thrown into that shit. You have to be real creative.
Yeah, you gotta be creative or you'll end up with a boring power like Gon's.
Gon's ain't no. Look, we think it's boring now because he's only just used his limited imagination. If Gon was to actually take his emitter abilities up, them shits could be destructive. Like he could literally.
Yeah, if he took his emitter abilities up, but right now they're trash.
Well, I mean, we only ever see him do rock. We've never seen him do scissors or paper.
He did scissors.
Well, he ain't never done paper.
Scissors was cool though. Scissors was like a lightsaber. So I liked it. I was like, yo, I wish he'd use that more often, but he's too nice. He ain't trying to kill nobody.
Yep. Shit, I don't know what. I'm sorry. What do you think he did to bro? Do you see what he did to Pito's face?
Pito, that's
boy.
That's a different Gon.
He was like first, pow, just
First comes rock.
pow, pow. I'm like, bro, she's dead.
Kept
Pow.
going.
Like, I'm like, somebody get this man. Killua, where you at? He crying and he's still just punching her face. He's just like, pop. I'm like, Killua, get your man.
So weird that his voice was still the same.
I know, right? I'm like, shouldn't his vocal cords have evolved too?
Yeah, those didn't change somehow. Okay, one has to go. This is the villain section.
Mm-hmm.
Madara, Aizen, Doflamingo, or Meruem.
Dofi. I didn't like Dofi. Aizen was smart and tactical. Meruem was just godly. Doflamingo was just
Tell me about Doflamingo's appearance, because between Aizen, Madara, and Meruem, when each of those three appeared in the series, they were already so overpowered and so overwhelming for the protagonist.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
Doflamingo have an entrance like that too?
He did, because Doflamingo's background, he's really strong. I will give him that. For a Devil Fruit user, like what they had introduced or what was becoming slowly introduced at that portion of things was this thing called an awakening for Devil Fruit users. So based on the type of Devil Fruit you had, whether it be Logia, Paramecia, or Zoan, it changes. So Doflamingo is I think he's a Paramecia type. No. Paramecia like Luffy. So what that means is shit. Nope. I got it backwards. Give me. So I'm gonna break it down. Zoan users are people who can transform into stuff like Chopper. You know, that their kind of fruits evolve, you know, transforming into either whatever the creature is or it's involved enhancements and things like that. Logia types are essentially they're made out of their element. So like Ace, Dachin Jiao, and what's his face? The dude from the fucking Navy. He's made out of lava, essentially. Made out of lava. And I think Doflamingo is like that also. Because he's made out of essentially yarn. His body he can turn his body into yarn. He can turn everything around him into yarn. Yep, there it is. He is a Logia type. So awakenings, depending on the type, they change. Logia types affect the environment or the world itself. So they can turn everything into their element. Whether it be, and it physically doesn't have to be there. It could be a rock. He could turn his entire rock into just yarn, and that's not because of his ability. It's just it awakens, it changes the environment. So Ace would have turned anything that was never fire into like actual fire. It just the whole environment, it would become really hot, blazing, things like that. Zoan types, their awakenings usually involve some monstrous transformation, either doubling in size or like Monster Point for Chopper. People think that's like a forced form of his human fruit awakening, becoming like a giant. Because if you think about it, what would you assume is the ultimate form of a human? That'd be a giant in sense, and he ate the human fruit. So like Doflamingo, when he came onto the scene, hell yeah, he was powerful because Luffy had never fought another devil fruit user who had power like that, or who was, you know, his haki was already great. He knew all his abilities, and Luffy he only had them 2 years to kind of learn his stuff and get his power straight. And you know he couldn't do much against them, but until he went to Gear 4, which, spoiler if you ain't seen One Piece, you should at least know what Gear 4 is by now. It's been like everywhere if you've seen anything. That form which he can only keep for so long. But I mean, to the effect of the other two, no, he still didn't have that much pressure when he entered the scene, and he just looks. I just hate the way Doflamingo looks.
Okay. Oh, which series do you prefer? So one of them I haven't seen yet, and the other one I'm still getting ready to finish. So
what's that?
There's Evangelion and Code Geass. Which one do you prefer?
Evangelion. I've watched Evangelion. Code Geass is too much talking for me. Only reason why I like Evangelion.
It's too much talking?
Yes, it's too much talking.
That's one of my favorite parts about the series.
I mean, because it's supposed to have some subtle hints of action that just be like, y'all are building up so much. I love what I'm learning, but can I get some stuff that'll shock or awe me? Evangelion gets dark. Evangelion gets dark, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, didn't see that coming. You know, oh, man, hair on my tongue. Didn't see that coming. Things like that, and yeah, and it kind of reminded me of what was it? Big O. I like Big Mechs. I mean, I'm not saying Code isn't good, because I mean it is good. Like Ninja said, it's just I like Evangelion better. But let me ask you something: who do you think will win a race in speed between these these people here? Okay. Killua in his Raijin form.
His Godspeed.
Yep. The Yellow Flash from Naruto. And I had one more person. Damn, who was it? They were just in my head a second ago. Killua, the Yellow Flash. Who else is retardedly fast in anime?
Ichigo.
No. Ooh, there we go. I'll throw her in the mix. Ooh. What's her name? I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, I'm drawing blanks. She's the black chick, the ninja from Bleach, the cat.
Oh, Yoruichi.
Yoruichi, there we go. Between those three, who do you think will win a race? Because they all utilize some form of electricity, in a sense.
So the Yellow Flash, is he actually using his markers?
Yes. That's the only way he gonna get fast.
He's also just fast, though. Using that, he's teleporting, while the other two are just using speed.
Well, I mean, yeah, just using his kit.
The Yellow Flash, I'm gonna say the Yellow Flash. The Yellow Flash is literally moving through space. Like it's a different type of speed.
But the thing is, he'd have to already have had his marker or his little curse mark there to teleport. That's the thing.
Okay, because Flash Step is just super fast. Flash Step is just really fast movement.
That Shunko stuff?
Yeah. And what was the other one?
Killua and the Raijin
Killua
form.
is also just super fast. Like I would assume. They never said he can move at the speed of light when he does that. They just said his reaction time is that fast, and he can move a lot faster. But I saw him running full speed.
That's what I'm saying. You saw my man literally hop down a mountain and make it down a road in like less than a blink.
Yeah. And when he was putting them paws on Yuppie.
Bruh, he had that man hot. Come on, Trey. Pick.
I'm gonna have to go with Yoruichi.
Gonna give it to the Flash Step. I should have put damn Grimjaw in there or somebody else too.
I'm gonna have to give it to Yoruichi because Yoruichi is so fast, and I haven't seen anybody else do this. Except in DBZ, Yoruichi is so fast that she can literally create clones of herself from fast movement, not from a shadow clone or not from anything like that.
Oh, kind of like
moving fast enough,
like the Flash. The Flash can do that too.
Like a speed mirage, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's the only one I've seen pull something like that off. Where you have to be ridiculously fast.
Okay.
Instant transmission, Derek from Goku. I mean, he's just moving at the speed of light. That's what he's doing. So it's kind of ridiculous. Saitama's faster than all of them, though. So, but Saitama's a joke. He's a joke character. He's supposed to be stronger than that.
He's broken. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups.
Earth in 15 seconds.
What he did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 what a day?
10-kilometer run, 100 squats, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every single day. You can have anything for breakfast, but it's the most important meal of the day. A banana is fine.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm pretty sure there's people who try to emulate his workout.
I was gonna talk about this today.
Go ahead.
Actually. So here's my theory about Saitama, especially after reading so much of the manga, and I think I've talked to Derek about this before. Saitama is actually a monster. I think Saitama is a monster, and I think they're setting it up to reveal at some point later down the line that he's a monster. Because the way they explain how monsters are created kind of explain how Saitama did his training regimen. Because when he said 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 10-kilometer run every day, people were just like, okay, that's it. But then he talked about how he trained until his body broke. Like his bones and tendons were breaking. He continued to train anyway. He was constantly fighting monsters too, like edging on the brink of death from fighting them.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't turn his AC on during the summer or his heat on during the winter. So at some point, training like that, he should have had multiple heat strokes and he should have had hypothermia.
Something, damn it.
So the way a monster called Gyoro, a cyclopic monster, starts talking about how a monster is created and how they break through their barriers and get stronger, is that they have to experience death multiple times. And each time they experience death, they get stronger. And I think that's what Saitama was doing during his training, was literally experiencing death.
So he turned himself into a suit. He's still human, but in sense he's a pseudo type monster.
Yes, that's my theory.
That would be pretty wild.
Because they say in order to break through your human limitation, you have to become a monster in some way. And they always call it breaking his limit. So I think that Saitama is some type of monster.
That would be really interesting if that was, on to be revealed later. That would be pretty interesting. I would like to see a more in-depth analysis on like Mob's psychic abilities though.
Yeah, because the guy who writes these just tends to write people overpowered, and that's just it. He's done.
I'm like, bro, can you tell me why that man Mob's psychic abilities don't exist? They're like some shit beyond the world. Like he reached into the future of another galaxy and pulled out something, and that's his powers.
Yeah, I thought that was really crazy. What else? Oh, which sports anime do you prefer, Haikyuu or Kuroko no Basket?
Basket. Got to, bruh. Kuroko no Basket. If anybody's never watched it, man, it's my boy, my homie Daniel put it up to me, man. Shout out to my boy D Knight. I know he usually wants to come through to the podcast, but he never can. He'll probably catch it later and listen. So I'm shouting you out, D. He put me up on game, man, because he's a big basketball head, and I was watching it, like, he's like, bro, just check it out. And I was like, man, this ain't bad. It really got me more into basketball, and I like basketball. I was just like, bro, this it's so wild. I wish basketball in real life was like that.
Anytime that music would come on when they went in the zone, yo.
And everybody's zone was so different.
Yes. Because at first I thought like Aoyama was the coldest cat like to ever exist. The dude who looked black almost. And
yes.
They were like, oh, he doesn't play basketball. He plays street ball. I was like, man, that's N1 and y'all know it. Y'all
pretty much. But no, the coldest zone though was the cat who could mimic everybody. I thought his was the hardest one. I'm like, bruh, he can beat everybody.
My favorite zone was the purple hair cat, the big man.
The one with Thor's hammer when he come down dunking? Yeah.
Because I didn't expect him to enter the zone. And then when he did, I was like, oh, that means he's taking this serious.
But my man, the redhead who played with Kuro.
Oh, to do with the God Eye? Or King's Eye?
No. The other one. The one who played with Kuro.
Oh, Taiga.
Yeah, Taiga. His zone. That man he was jumping out of the gym. I'm like, bro, why is he getting so high in the air? I mean, it's like his legs they turn into springs. For anybody who knows Bellamy from One Piece, Bellamy, his devil fruit gives him like spring fruit. So my man literally he can turn parts of his bodies into springs, like his forearms, anything that's a joint impingement to it, it can turn into a spring and be launched. That's every time I saw him go into the zone, I'm like, bro, he just turned the devil fruit powers on because he's just getting too high. Until he came across the lazy ass giant, and dude was swatting his shit away until he took it a step higher. He literally almost got as high as the damn top of the damn rim. That's how high he jumped one time. I was like, that is scary. Cause you already have to overjump a dude who, I think the big giant guy was almost close to like half of a 7 foot, and you get higher than a 7 foot dude who can jump high in the air too. Come on, bro. You're doing too much. Too much jumping.
Yeah. That anime is so crazy to me.
You can't help but like it.
We're about to move into the big talk. We just wanted to take some time and just talk about My Hero Academia. About everything. So if y'all haven't watched the series yet, or if y'all are a season behind, or any of that stuff, or you haven't read a little bit of the manga ahead of where they are in the anime, there will be some spoilers. We'll try to keep them to a minimum, but there will be some. One of my favorite things so far, and it was in the manga, it wasn't in the anime, just to start it off, was Red Riot. Red Riot.
I gotta bury his head.
Kirishima. Kirishima's shine moment is just so fire to me. It's ridiculously good. And that's one of the things I like about My Hero Academia is that every character gets their shine. It's not just on Deku. Deku's not the only one improving. Deku's not the only one getting better. You see all the other characters improving. You get to know them. And without them going into like a whole episode's worth of a backstory. Which I say is really good for a shonen. Really good for a shonen.
Damn good for shonen. Because you don't want to just be diving convolutedly into all this stuff, and then you're like, well, okay.
And I love All Might's character because he's supposed to be the typical overpowered hero. We all know this. But it's something about All Might that's relatable. Even though he is so over the top. There's something about him that's relatable. I haven't put my finger on it yet, but I like it. I know I like it. Ty, we're about to just go from the beginning now. So unless you haven't seen like the first few episodes, you know, you don't have to bury your head. So I like that. I don't know why I didn't notice in the first season. I noticed the second season, but I didn't realize that Deku was telling the story from the future. Is all of it is a flashback?
Yeah, like everything is a flashback. He like when it first continues through, he's like, "This is how I became the world's greatest hero."
Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Oh, it's all a flashback." But I guess we'll start with since they introduced her early. I guess we'll start with Deku's mom. I was just talking to Tez about this earlier. I think Deku has like best anime mom on the planet. Like everybody always likes to talk about waifus.
Better than Chi-Chi and
Deku has
Bulma?
the best anime mom, period. She's super supportive. She even thinks her son is cool, which I thought was cool. She takes good care of him. I don't know where his pops at. I have no idea where his pops is. But she's still holding it down. I mean, she took the time to get a little chubby, but there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. Some folks think his father's a villain.
That's what I think. I think his dad's a villain. But we'll see. We'll find out eventually. I don't know where his dad is. I just know he can fire. Maybe him and half hot, half cold are half brothers.
I mean, to my Dobby?
No. But Dobby do look like he related to him, low key.
Bro, I'm telling you, Dobby's gonna be that one begotten son of Endeavor. Let's just leave that till we get to that point.
But no, I'm talking about Todoroki. Yeah, they said his dad could breathe fire.
That was about it.
That's all they said, is that his dad could breathe fire. So it would make sense to me that Endeavor might have a chance of being his pop. That would add a little extra spice to him having all for one, or one for all, sorry.
I mean,
that would add to that, which I would think would be interesting. Nice little twist. But yeah, I don't know who his dad is. I think his dad's because if he was a hero, we'd know more about him. And Deku probably would be a fan of him.
yeah, but I mean, not everybody in the superhero world is a superhero, though. Some people just live normal lives, even though they have quirks, or their quirks just didn't make it through to...
Yeah, but they don't mention a divorce. They don't mention a separation. They don't mention that he passed away. Nothing.
So you just think...
Endeavor was Rolling Stone. You know, he was just dropping seeds in everybody.
Nah, man, I couldn't see Endeavor being Deku's dad, man. No matter
I'm sure it's hilarious if he
no
was.
matter how you look at it, it would be. It's just not practical. What I
This
do
is not
think
practical.
though is I do think Deku's dad may be with the League of Villains, and that's why he's like never around.
Maybe Dobby is Deku's dad.
No, Dobby's still a kid, man. Dobby's still a kid. We still got to figure out who Dobby is.
Special shout out though, to Gran Torino. Yo,
The
Gran
OG.
Torino is one of my favorite characters in the series.
He's OP in the game.
Yeah, I saw it when you were playing KDJ and he was using Gran Torino. I was like, the fact that he can just fly around like that.
Stupidly
Reminded
broken.
me of Yoda from Soul Calibur. What is it, 5? Was it 4 or 5?
I believe 4. Don't get me wrong though.
With Yoda in there. But no, I love Gran Torino. I think he's a badass. Yeah, I think not kid. I think Gran Torino's a badass. I love his philosophies. He's just an OG.
The
And when he trains
quintessential
people, he
OG.
don't play no game. As soon as Deku stepped through the door, he started tagging his ass. Kicking him in the back every chance he got.
He was about it, bruh. He's like, I gotta give it to him. If he's gonna learn, if he's gonna be the next successor, he has to have this under his belt. No excuses. Reaction time was too slow.
So I was talking to Yeg about this,
Yeah.
about like what we thought the best fighting sequence was in My Hero so far. His favorite was the tournament, the sports festival between Deku and Todoroki.
Mm-hmm.
When he mixed the ice and the fire. And I told him my favorite was like when All for One showed up.
The All for
That was
One.
my favorite fight.
The All for One fight, hands down, was probably one of the best fights, or the one for all. No, All for One. Yeah, All for One fight was probably one of the most hands down best fights next to the final Naruto and Sasuke fight in anime
Like,
history.
I love that fight. But I do feel like they blew the budget on that sports festival fight. Anytime All Might fights Ty was fire. When he fought the first Nomu, that fight went hard. Also, just a fun fact, I recognized it just from watching too much anime. Shigaraki's voice actor is the same as Meruem's from Hunter x Hunter.
Really, I did not know that.
I heard him talking, I was like, why does he sound so familiar? And then I looked it up and I was like, yep, that makes sense. Just like they have a Japanese voice actor that always plays some type of thug character. He was Aoki in Hajime no Ippo. He was Okuyasu in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's played some other gangsters and other stuff too. But yeah, all the All Might fights, the All for One fight is definitely my favorite from the series though. And almost like when I first started watching the series, I couldn't. Not even because he was a crybaby. It was because he kept hurting himself. It was driving me crazy.
I will agree with you. The fact that he kept breaking shit, I'm just like, man, when he's. But see, at one point, I was like, the same thing that they eventually alluded to, that if he keeps breaking it, it's gonna be broke for good. I just like, there's no way he can keep healing. I don't give a damn how well somebody's healing ability is. He's gonna keep. You can't keep tearing stuff and it just keep fixing. That'd be the most broke. That'd be the most broken OP power in the damn world.
I think eventually he won't need to, like, because with All Might's power,
He regulates the output well.
Exactly. But yeah, I think he won't have to eventually. But when he just kept breaking stuff from doing little stuff, like little shit, and he was just breaking a finger, breaking his hand, I was just like
Breaking his arm. I'm not gonna lie though, the first time he actually used it during the when he was trying to get in to U of A, when he bust that big ass machine with his fist, I was gonna say that shit was godly. And then like
Yeah.
the thing with Bakugo Kachan that I can't stand is he has early Vegeta mentality. Anytime Goku did something great, he always got a shit on it. But their relationship is give and take, hate, love and hate. Deku's always gonna love and admire him because he knows how strong his quirk is and how great Bakugo can be and will be. Bakugo's always just looking at it from a linear perspective as if, oh, he outdid me. But he's like, bro, you've had your whole life with a quirk that you can either master and get better and understand how it works. I still have a quirk now that's been given to me that's not even my own, that I haven't even made my own. So it's nothing essentially.
All Might told Bakugo a level 50 isn't going to level up as fast as a level 1.
Facts.
He told him that. But Bakugo got on my nerves for a while until him and Deku finally had that real deal Goku Vegeta moment.
Yeah.
When they had that real deal moment and like you actually saw the real Bakugo for a minute, I was like, okay, this actually, I was like, it's weird, but I can actually understand why he is the way he is.
My thing too is with like a lot of those folks in that show, one thing that I like, it kind of bothers me is like they never look at it like things have to come to an end. Every great hero is still human. They're not gonna be heroes forever, even if you love them and idolize them. Like he was so pissed at stuff with All Might and just like don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it or but just like you have to realize every great era has to come to an end. Everything, whether it be your quirk, all these things, people who you look up to, they won't be heroes forever. Even if it didn't happen that day, eventually there will come a day when All Might couldn't be the hero or the similar piece. Like it was just realistic. There'll be a day he's not the hero piece or the similar piece. Sorry. But that was always just my biggest thing. I'm like, bro, you're too hung up on the stuff that doesn't really matter. You're worried about, like I would have been the friend like actually applauding the fact that my boy, I'm questioning how he got it, but you also still have a phenomenal quirk, bruh. Based on, like it's explosions. Explosions, if he learned how to, he can make concussion mines, flashbangs. His quirk is the most versatile out of anybody, just based on how the type of nitrogen he expunges from his body and shit and makes it. Like, they finally did a book on the parents in the Boku no Hero world, and you actually see. I always wonder how Bakugo got his damn quirk. Like his mother's is the one that allows for like the nitroglycerin, so she always has beautiful skin. And his father's is the one that allows for the shit to actually combust. Like, so his is, it allows him to combust the fluids. So putting them together, he can secrete and combust what he secretes. So like, it makes sense now. It's like, yo, either one person has to have this explosion quirk in his family, or it has to be a combination of two quirks combined to make him a perfect bomb creator. Which it was the latter, rather than the
I guess you could say that the creating of Bakugo was explosive.
Yes. Bro, could you imagine? I'm sorry. I just thought about that. Getting off subject. His mama's skin's always, she secretes nitroglycerin, and his dad's makes it explode. Could you imagine him trying to get down in a hot room? It just be blowing up.
Like, they probably destroyed whatever hotel they were in.
They're like, y'all got to pay for this. My bad.
So what I want Bakugo to start doing with his quirk is to actually start storing his sweat in grenades. Not just with his gauntlets, his wrist gauntlets. I want him to like wear them on his waist. And just be able to toss them when he needs to. Just in case. Like if he can't use his arms anymore or if he had like a type of mechanism built into his suit that allowed for the excess in his body to like drain in the canisters along his waist. Exactly.
And when full, he can just, toss them and bang. That would be fire.
I think that would be really cool with Bakugo's quirk. And I love his quirk.
Ty said the old generation is fully prepared for the next generation. They are ready, and Bakugo was actually an accident that just burned the condom off. I mean, He could have came out blowing shit up in the, you know, his drill head might have just blown everything up too.
The older generation finally got to the point where they're trying to prepare the next generation to take it.
Now, but they did a shit job of it at first.
They weren't. Yeah, they weren't at first. All right, so excuse me. So for a little fun here, Derek, you know me personally. Tez, you know me personally, and I know y'all personally. So, and Ty, I'm sure you've watched enough of Tez's streams. So, what character do I remind y'all of most from the show? And I'll do the same for y'all.
From my hero?
Yeah. And if you tell me the same thing Yig and my wife told me, I'm a snap. Because they both said the same thing, and I was like, wow, word.
What hero?
I'll tell you right now, my roommate Derek reminds me of Grace Hatton.
Lazy ass Azawa.
Yeah. Bringing a sleeping bag to class.
Ty said Mineta.
Tez does? Tez reminds you of Mineta?
Who? We talking about you, not me. Hold up, Ty. Who's Mineta?
No, I said for everyone here, if they know you well enough.
Oh, who do I remind them of? I am not Mineta.
Bro, tell me why. Tell me why my wife and Yig said I remind them of
Of who?
Mineta.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not even a pervert like that. I was like, y'all something else.
I was honestly gonna say you were more like a Todoroki because you actually have like you. No, let me take that back. That's more of a tack. Tack's quiet as shit like Todoroki.
Yeah, that's tack, 100%.
But like you still ride that line of like one of the quieter Tokoyami. There we go. Like subtly, like just in the sense like how he's always quiet, but you know, knowledge he's knowledgeable of what's going on around him. You know, aware of what's going on. He's the voice of reason in the shadows. But
I
me,
like Takayami. He's one of my favorites.
Tokoyami is he's one of the good ones.
He got that gothic ass room.
That's the only way his quirk can thrive is in darkness, man. He's the embodiment of Batman. They're building him up to be Batman, bruh.
If he had the head of a bat, I would have lost it. I would have lost it. I was like, yo, wait a minute.
Me though, I can't think of who I actually would be.
For you, let's see.
I'm frail as shit, so I couldn't be Red Riot or Tetsu Tetsu. I could be neither of them.
Tetsu is me when I'm Mario Kart. Tetsu is a trip. I was thinking Kaminari, Ty.
Which one is Kaminari? The electric dude?
Yeah, when he uses too much.
No, I ain't stupid. Nah, I ain't Kaminari, man.
Kaminari's only like that when he's short circuit. Let me see. I'm not even gonna limit it to the student.
That's what I'm saying. I'm actually trying to think. I'm trying to think of some of the other heroes I've come across in the show.
Hey Ty, for you, what hero do you relate to the most, and which one would you want to be the most like, including their quirk?
Nah, I'm not gonna front. I probably would be like Mineta, but I'm not as weak as Mineta. Man, them sticky
like
grapes. Mineta.
Mineta he's smart, but he doesn't like putting forth effort, and he's selfish.
And his grapes could do, bro. You can't get they stick to everything, and it's like Omega glue. It's like
Work is a beast.
Bruh.
Tez reminds me of the walrus cat.
What? Talking about
The
the
walrus cat. The
Let
one
me-
Froppy trained with.
let me look him up.
The one that kept trying to do cute stuff for the kids. What is his name?
Spotted seal.
Spotted Seal.
Man, get out of here, bro.
I'm telling you, bro. Can you swim?
No, and not at all.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, I'm telling you,
mind.
it'd be hard. It'd be hard to come up with a hero for me, boy.
But that would have been the closest. I could see. No, not Best Genius. I almost was gonna say Best.
Nah, that ain't me.
I like Best Genius. Oh, Hisashi Yamada makes perfect sense, Ty. I forgot about him. That is Tez.
Who is Yamada?
100%. Huh? Who's Yamada?
Yeah.
The cat with the speaker box on his neck.
Hey, man, get out of here. What's his name?
No, that's it right there.
President Mike, get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, President Mike.
Do you like bugs?
Nope. I'm not afraid of bugs, but I don't like bugs.
If they crawled up on you like they did on him, would you pass out?
Depending on what kind of bug it is.
There was centipedes in there.
I ain't afraid of no centipedes, but you know, it just depends.
I am. Yeah, President Mike.
Nah, bro, I'm more like Sugar Rush. I'm more like that's who I be. Kid, the fake Kid Muscle, cause that's all he looks like is Kid Muscle. The dude who eats sugar and gets strong as fuck.
Oh,
That's
Sugar
me.
Rush?
That's me. That's the only one that makes sense. He's quiet, kind of strong, you know, just sits in the back.
You say dude in the background most of the time.
Exactly, that's me most of the time.
My wife reminds me of the cat who can talk to animals.
He's quiet as hell.
That's why. When old girl, she's like, "Wait, so you can talk?" They didn't even know he could talk.
That's like that dude from from the Black Bulls, the one who's like he specializes in curse magic, but he talks super low, like it's a mumble, and they can never hear him speaking.
I'm sticking with Yamada, Ty.
If I had to have any quirk, though, my quirk would just have to be, you know, I'd have a quirk that allows me to, you know, use my imagination and create anything, you know, be anything.
No, you got to pick one that the characters already had.
Nah, bruh, I want my own.
Me and my wife talked about this. She wants creation, like Momo.
Well, see, it'd be hard because there's nobody in their world who actually has, like, if I had to pick one, I would want, fuck that. I want Dobby's.
You want Dobby's quirk?
Yes. I want Dobby's because that man has pure control over the strongest essence of flame. And there's a lot you can do with that flame. His shit cremates stuff.
So, until I saw this character, my roommate reminded me of Eraserhead, but Tamaki Amajiki is really the one my roommate reminds me of the most. The cat from the Big Three.
The one who eats stuff? Oh, no, the naked one.
The one who can eat stuff. Miro is the naked
one. Manifest. Yeah, his is called Manifest.
Yeah, Manifest. Miro is just a trip. I don't think anybody reminds me of Miro.
But dudes, his quirk is pretty nasty when you think about it. The stuff he eats, he can turn and manifest it, but he can also combine it. It doesn't just have to be like one thing. It's essentially the same version of one for all for one, but with foods. He eats, he can.
He ate seafood one day.
He can make tentacle fingers plus crab claws. Like he can combine all the stuff, or like chicken talons and crystals. Like, bruh, it can be worked in a lot of ways. It just depends on what he eats for the day. That's the only downside to it. Like he'd have to carry like a backpack with certain foods on it out in the field.
I would want Miro's quirk.
If I had to be precautious and have a quirk that could save my life, I'd take Fat Gum's ability.
Oh, Fat Gum. He's the one who burned all his fat off, right?
Yeah, he can absorb it though. He can absorb so much.
Yeah.
I take Fat Gum's
Fat
power
Gum was
too.
Cool. I thought Fat Gum was really cool. Yeah, I thought she was not she. I thought he was super cool. When I saw his when they stormed that hideout. We'll just say that. Can't say too much because that's in the manga.
Yep.
They just revealed one of my favorite villains in the anime.
Overhaul.
But just wait till like Overhaul really gets introduced.
Nah, man, wait
Mount
till
Lady,
you guys
you like to just grow giant.
Mount Lady is sexy, big butt ass.
I actually like what's her name more than Mount Lady? What is her name? Himiko Toga. The crazy one?
Got you.
Yeah, Himiko Toga. I like her a lot. Her little crazy ass.
Her shit's similar to Stain in a sense.
No, I tame her. He said, "Boy, exit worst girl." No, so my favorite in the Academy tie is I can never remember her name. Hold on. Ashida. The pink chick with the acid, she's my favorite.
Nah, see, y'all got it twisted. Y'all don't know who the actual most beautiful student in that whole damn show is. Hagakure, Invisible Girl. There was one moment in the manga where she actually got revealed, and like they're like, "Hold on, you been here the whole time?" But she usually doesn't have on clothes. She was in a bra and panties randomly. Like I think she can only keep the underlayer of stuff off, but the overlayer not. Invisible. And like they showed her for a second, just a brief second, and she was probably one of the cutest I've seen drawn in the show. I know I wasn't like visualizing that shit or like coming up with it like out of my brain. I know I saw it in one of the mangas.
I'm trying to Google it right now.
Or it might have been in one of the episodes, but I know it was crazy. Like they showed her and like somebody. Oh no, Eraserhead. He glared in the classroom and canceled. It had to be in the anime. He canceled the quirks in the room for a second, and they actually she materialized for a quick second, and then like he's like I forgot, and boom, she went invisible again, but she screamed first.
I don't remember that episode.
Like it was very vivid. I couldn't just be making this up. Or
you gotta be, yo.
I couldn't be. I remember it so vividly, bro.
I can't find it nowhere. This would be all over Google.
Let's see.
This would be all over Google if it exists.
I'm telling you, bro. They've actually shown her once before. Had to. I can't be making this shit up.
Haven't, bro.
I gotta be tripping then. Hold on. Yep, that I must have been dreaming. Dead Hero, you came back. Yeah, man, I must have been dreaming the shit then. But I swear I've seen it, man.
So, while we're talking about all of this, but real quick, Ashido Best Girl. Moving on. Who do you think the leak is in the academy? Because they didn't talk about it for very long, but the principal did say they have to have a leak in school. And he doesn't know if it's a teacher or a student for the League of Villains. So does anybody have any theories on who the leak could be?
Oh, sorry about all the noise. What did you say, Trey? I had to grab a snack real quick, man.
Oh. Apparently they forgot that plot. Oh no. So the principal said something about there being a leak in the school. He doesn't know if it's a teacher or if it's the students, but there has to be a leak somewhere. Who do you think that leak is? Because that means somebody at the school is working for the League of Villains. Or
I think it's old girl.
The traitor plot got dropped? Oh my gosh, what? That would have been such a good one, though. They just dropped it? That's slightly upsetting.
So they confirmed there was no inside trader at U of A. If there had been, I would have just assumed it was that girl who can change in other people. It would have been Lunch Rush. Why would it have been the lunch dude?
I actually thought it would be Hagakure.
Oh, the Invisible Girl?
No, I don't think. Yeah, I think the Invisible been the leak. I don't think Red Riot would have been the leak Dead Hero. Why Red Riot?
I wonder if Tetsu's gonna get a new power up like Red Riot did.
He's gonna have to.
Like to become even more harder than steel, like turn into what? What's harder than steel? Carbonite?
Carbonite, both of those. Actually, tungsten's not harder than steel, just has a higher melting. Titanium.
Adamantium.
Actually, I forgot about Class B, my favorite chick.
Who?
The one
What?
with the vines for hair?
Mm-hmm.
She's my favorite.
I like the dude who's becoming
Kaminari down.
Sorry. The dude with the brainwashing powers, I like him.
Oh, I like him too. The one in just the general studies.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. Yeah, Shinsa. They show all the kids sleeping, but not Red Riot. All right, let me do some. Let's do some digging while we're here.
Digging on what? We're coming up at that 2-hour mark.
Okay, recap on Reddit. Everyone we blamed is the traitor. So Detective Tsukachi was considered the first one. The classic. This is the original traitor theory. It's funny how all of that speculation started over a tie. So apparently the theory started because of a tie he was wearing. The theory was completely debunked though. Next one, number 2, Toro Hagakure, the Invisible Girl. Yeah, because since you can't see her, that's why it's weird to me. Chronologically, the first clue was during the election for class president. We know there are 20 kids in Class A, however, only 19 votes were tallied for class president. And they never get a shot of her during that frame. Gotcha, buddy. You shouldn't have walked in there. The next part of this theory regards her activity at USJ. During the USJ attack, there were only 2 people whose positions were unaccountable on the map provided by the author, Hagakure and Aoyama. After everyone regrouped and asked where she was, she replied she had been around Todoroki. This raises several questions. First, it is very likely that she would have been able to avoid his ice. She would have been able to avoid his ice since he lashed out at the moment he arrived in the landslide. Yeah, she would have been frozen. Every other person in the zone was frozen instantly.
Well, we got
And
the Yig in the
final piece
crib.
towards this theory. Oh, Yig is here. They said the other part towards this theory is that the author, Hirakishi, has hinted that there is more to her quirk than just being invisible. And a lot of people think it has something to do with reflecting light.
Well, that's how invisibility is refracted light. Like that's how they explain Susan, Mrs. Fantastic.
Okay. What's the third one? Kaminari? What?
Kaminari, his stupefied state.
It all started when someone noticed something weird about a sketch of Kaminari for episode 10. There was a cocky smile, which wouldn't be too OOC for him. But the user spliced his face in half and noticed something weird. The right side was almost eerie and malevolent. Then things got stranger. Someone then pointed out a page where Hirakishi depicts and talks about Kaminari's design stage. He had believed he had been too villainous looking. When you start to think about him as a possible villain, you realize the possible so-called limit that makes him go stupid, and that hit home hard. Now, this was a theory, but was there any information that could back up that claim? Surprisingly, yes. Instead of listing them off, I'm going to recommend looking through the discussion he linked below. I'll put this Reddit page in the chat too once I'm done. Now, this theory certainly has its problems, one of which is how Kaminari acted during the license exam. Care and admiration of Kirishima and Bakugo seem genuine. Of course, that would make the painful reveal even better if this is the case. Kirishima,
Yeah, those three are like a little squad.
So, Kirishima's number 4. This theory rose as quickly as it fell. The most recent popular suggested that our favorite spiky-haired redhead could possibly be the culprit. However, unlike the other theories, this one depicts the mole as an accidental leaker. It is all tied to that famous Rocky villain we've seen in the background, but never from the front. Due to the similar nature of their quirks, people seem to tie him and Kirishima together, which actually turned out to be right, just not in the way we thought.
How so? How did it turn out to be right?
Let me see. It's on another page. It's all about this Rocky villain guy, apparently.
Okay.
The Rocky villain's connection to the League indirectly was Kirishima. Remember the thing about there being a possible traitor among UA. The villains had no way of knowing where the summer camp would be located because the only people who knew about it were students and UA faculty. Yet somehow the League of Villains managed to get the location, kidnap Bakugo. It is quite possible that Kirishima gave this information to the Rocky villain with no ill intent, probably just telling his relative where he was going, where he was at. But Kirishima obviously must know that his relative, the Rocky villain, is not exactly a good person to be around. In the light novel, Kirishima tells Bakugo that it's not a good idea to go study at his house. We also have seen many hints possibly being a delinquent in the past, probably due to his relationship with the Rocky villain. Kirishima used to have black hair.
So you think maybe his father?
and he changed his appearance right before entering UA. Oh, they said, oh yeah, he does use quirk to keep his hair spiky.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I thought that shit was gel at first. So I mean, it could be potentially his father or somebody putting the muscle on him. Like, you know, you still like say he did have that kind of past and he worked for some people, and they're still putting the muscle on him. Like, you know, you're not out of this yet. You're not free from this yet. You know. Yeah, he did. He did know.
Before they went to UA.
Yep. Acid spitter. I wonder what she looked like before she had, or was she born with that look?
She was probably born like that.
You know somebody who I wish they would talk about though?
In the anime.
I wish they would talk about that first baby who glowed. Whatever happened to him? Or her?
They just glowed. They were like old boy from what's that movie? Sky High.
Yeah. What happened to that first baby that just glowed? Whatever happened to that child? The first quirk baby. You know. I could get used to figuring out more of this, but you know, good people, as we stated earlier, all good things must come to an end, and I don't want to cut this short. I could keep going, but your boy's on a crunchy schedule today, and I got stuff to take care of and get in and get out and go do before it's too late, or I just run out of time, and you know how that stuff goes. So I would like to thank everybody that came through. You know, anybody that's still in here, appreciate you. Anybody who's just lurking, if you haven't already, hit the follow button, man. You know, so you can stay informed of when I go live, when the podcast comes up, which is every other Saturday, or just impromptu. You may get surprised. You know, also feel free to follow Nella Trey if you haven't already. You know, things like that. I forgot to put my
on Twitter.
Huh?
Follow us on Twitter.
Yep. Also follow us on Twitter. I forgot to turn my bot on today, so that no wonder none of my stuff's been plugged in. But I know it by heart. There we go.
Alrighty, y'all. Well.
Yeah. Well, I look, y'all. You guys know I would run this 3 hours plus. But if it wasn't for my little tight, crunchy schedule, but we can hold off and continue this debate or other information until the next one. You know, so just keep everything we got going. You know.
Actually, for the next Animanga Kickback, I want y'all to think hard. Tell us your favorite conspiracy theories about anime that may have not been revealed yet, and your favorite fan theory.
Oh hell
so
yeah!
We can talk about those.
Theories and plots, and holes. Because there are some good ones out there. And hold up, and we'll take it one step further. Even if it's not anime or manga related, like I've heard and read some good theories and stuff on like Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'm like, it's not even anime, but it's still some crazy stuff. But yeah, man. Again, thank everybody that came through. Z, thank you for the host. Trey, thank you for the host. You guys, thank you for being here. We will holler at you all next time on our streaming dates, and then for the kickback, just be here. Probably not next Saturday, but the following Saturday after that. So it'd be like the second Saturday in November. Wouldn't that be it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we will holler at y'all then, man. Peace.
Yep. Y'all be easy.
Yes, sir.